Alice in Chains is the only band I can think of that can play a straight up major chord and it still sound sad and haunting. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Layne University. Today, we're getting to Alice in Chains. We're going to be checking out Wood from their 1992 album, Dirt. I think this was such an important album in the 90s. Timeless, emotive, sad, haunting, and such intense music. And this is absolutely one of my favorite bands coming up with the grunge movement, even though I don't really consider this band too grungy. They have more heavy metal elements incorporated. But everything about the band is unique, and they really stood out and always had my ear. So I want to listen through Wood and talk about why this song is so haunting, the great bass tone, the great bass riffs, and how their subtle use of half steps and small musical note changes contributes to their iconic and haunting sound. Let's get to it. Wood by Alice in Chains. Chugging on that E string. It's like the heartbeat of the song already. It's just so ethereal, these vocals. Odd harmonies. Yeah, I think Jerry sings the verses on this one. And Layne comes in. They have such clever usage of these half steps. It's just riddled with it already. It's in the vocals. It gives it that really haunting sound. It's just a little bit of rub. And the note intervals are so small, especially here in the bass and the guitar. But let me go back a bit. This song starts out with the heartbeat of the song is this bass riff. Why is that so fun to play? Just a really great right-hand feel. Just 3 notes, E flat, F, and F sharp. And then the very first chord Jerry Cantrell comes in on the guitar with is a major chord. Alice in Chains is the only band I can think of that can play a straight-up major chord and it still sound sad and haunting. And it's the way they're imposing it over everything going on. There's a lot of layers here. And I love how this very sustained, drony guitar part, the really drony vocals, very elongated, contrast so much with the bass part that's really chugging along, kind of playing straight 16th notes with some syncopation. That contrast is just kind of widening the song for those vocals to come in and those harmonies to come right up the middle and just really tug at your heart. It's incredible. I mean, Mike Starr is doing something completely opposite of what Jerry's doing. Jerry's got these really long, sustained chords with a lot of ringing out, and then Mike Starr is chugging along at a faster pace on different notes, and it's just creating this width, right? As I said earlier, that anything up the middle can just really shine. And, you know, Mike Starr could have easily just gone and just, the song would just completely lose its luster, in my opinion. That bass line is like the heartbeat going along, and everything else is kind of that anxiety and that tension, those really odd note choices from Jerry. This is very effective art right here. Emotion and art. This is a prime example of it. So let's keep going. The bass is getting to a note before the guitar, and it's creating a minor second, just for a split second, right here. Those are not third harmonies either, they're fifths. So unique. It's the rawest voice in rock. So good. Another thing about this band's tone is, it might just be this era. I've heard some songs that don't feel this reverby, but something about this song, the amount of reverb, the way it just sounds airy and kind of dry and spacey, it kind of feels like you're in a dream. It has this dream-like ethereal sound to it. Like when Layne's vocals swell in right before the chorus, it's like he's speaking to you in a dream. And I'm briefly aware of what the subject matter of the song is about. Andrew Wood from Mother Love Bone, WOOD. This is called Wood, like the wood. And it's sort of a tribute to the fact that they lost him. And what's even more tragic to me is Mike Starr has passed, and so is Layne Staley, all from addiction and drug issues. Very tragic. And you can just hear the hurt in some of these performances from this band around this era. And reading on their Wikipedia page, a lot of them were struggling while recording this record. So I think they just had a lot of demons, and the best thing out of that is it left us with great art. But you can just hear that emotion in there. And I think this reverby nature just delivers it in such a way that pulls you in a way I can't describe here on camera. It's just something about the band. Like I said at the beginning, I'm on a quest to find out why. Because, every artist wears their emotions on their sleeves, and they certainly do it when recording. Like, it almost changes my mood just being a couple minutes into the song so far. Those fifth harmonies are so unique. I'm going to come back to this. See, now the song sounds fast, right? It's like, oh, it's more upbeat. The song sounds faster in the chorus. I'm going to jump back to the beginning. I'm not staying here, but I just want you to compare to that. Listen to this little bit of the chorus. It's like a groove and rock song. We go back to the beginning when it's slow and drony. Same tempo. It just has a whole different, especially when these vocals come in. It's a whole different thing, but it's the same tempo. That is incredible artistic vision, whether it was intentional or not. So I'm going to go back to where I was, kind of right here, and we'll keep it going. Love that bass line, so boppy. There's that swell. It's like he's coming to you in a dream, like you're in a dream, and it's like bringing you back to a wakeful state. But it just still has that ethereal reverb nature that's haunting. Can't find the word. It's something else. That bass line just thumping underneath. Woo. Very cool chord. Kind of forgot about this part. So we're in a minor key. We're in E flat minor. That's really kind of what it's based around. F sharp. I could sit here and pick a couple of different modes this song feels like it's in. It's kind of Dorian at the beginning because he's playing that major chord kind of over the E flat minor. It's very bizarre. And again, I know these guys aren't sitting around thinking of modes and stuff. It's just fun to go back later and kind of figure out why it sounds the way it does. Again, I'm kind of on a quest to figure out why Alice in Chains sound the way they do. I'm realizing their vocal harmonies are kind of anything but traditional. You don't really hear perfect fifth harmonies a lot. You think of vocal harmonies, they're like major third, they're minor third. That kind of determines the tonality of them. And sometimes you'll have a third harmony that's a fifth, but then it kind of sounds like barbershop quartet, kind of like choral. It's just really big. But they're taking the third out of some of these harmonies, especially back in the verse. You know, Jerry is singing a perfect fifth interval with himself. I don't think Layne's doing the backup. I don't think Layne's coming in until the chorus. I could be wrong. Sounds like Jerry to me. But those fifth harmonies are what's called a perfect fifth. It's basically a power chord, right? Most harmonies kind of... they sound kind of pretty. Fifth harmonies have this like real square, just boom kind of thing. You know, when you think of a big organ, church organ, you know, those bottom notes are usually fifths. And for them to use that interval choice in their harmonies, just something about it, again, they create this width with the composition. It goes up the middle. It just has a very cold sound to it. That's the word I've been looking for the past 5 minutes. It has this coldness to it. And, you know, not to get into the physics of sound too much, but thirds have a lot of imbalance, right? The actual frequencies when you have a third interval, there's a little warble going on there. But they're called perfect fifth intervals and perfect fourth intervals because there is no perfect third interval. There's this whole thing with just intonation, equal temperament, true temperament, where raising the third up or below a couple of cents puts it in a different mathematical category with how the frequencies and overtones line up. But a perfect fifth interval has overtones and harmonics that are they line up and they resonate more perfectly in sound. That's why a power chord just sounds very even and square. That's what they're achieving with the vocal harmonies here. And it's almost like they need that little bit of perfection in the harmonies with all the other half-step intervals going on. And I just think something about the culmination of all of that makes up what Alice in Chains sound like. It's just a very bizarre mix of sounds and textures. There's really no band that quite does it like them. Let's keep going around this side. I want to hear this little guitar solo bit. I didn't get to this chord. Off on my tangent. They're choosing an out-of-key chord there, so they're going down from like a major chord to another major chord, but at a tritone interval, this interval. And it's a major chord. It's a straight-up major chord, but it still sounds dark. They did it again. They did it at the intro, and they're kind of bringing that same thing back. Oh, I was early. Ooh, that triplet fill and the drums. Yes. What an unresolved ending. And understanding the context of these lyrics and this story, it makes a lot of sense. It's asking a question. A question doesn't have a resolve. I mean, just what intellectual stuff would with a question mark. You don't see question marks in song titles a lot. Would. It's a question. Would you? What are the last lyrics? If I would, could you? Is that right? I got to hear it again. Love the way it ends. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was really fun. I know this is a short 3-minute and 27-second song, and I'm sure this video is super long and super long-winded, but I just love sitting around and talking about music and trying to understand why the things sound the way they do. And I love when you guys let me know your opinions. I would love to hear them as well. I love this back and forth connection we have wherever you may be, thousands of miles away, or you might be 15 miles away from me. But we can connect on great music and great bass parts and why they're great. And please like the video. Help me out. Give it a thumbs up. Comment what you'd like to see. Please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any videos. I'm taking requests. Please put them in the comments. And just simply thanks again for hanging out for this long-winded video. Cheers. Until next time.